beautiful afternoon. Welcome to the Buzz, your favorite social media program. I am Rose Blossom Mwe. Today we're talking about the state and affairs of the country. I'll have amazing guests seated with me. From my left is Femi Chacha. Femi Chacha is a politician, is a writer, is a social commentator. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
It's good to have you. You were here yesterday, but we had to drag you in today. Okay, today we also have Mazi Izakama. He is a social commentator. Sorry. I'm so sorry. We have Mazi here with us today. He's a social commentator. I'm fixing you up with Ochukwu's surname. He's a social commentator and an analyst. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
It's good to have you again. we missed you on the 1st of October.
Anybody's name is the same.
Yes.
So it's not going to be a negative.
Yeah, you know, I understand.
It's my pleasure. Thank you. We have just less than 13 weeks
to go for the end of the year.
And the grace will lead us.
Of course, amen. Okay, we have another guest joining us via Zoom. He's Dr. Alaye Tari Theophilos. He is the president of Ijaw Youth Council Worldwide. He's an environmental scientist and a specialist in pollution control and monitoring. Good afternoon, Dr. Alaye.
Good afternoon, thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. We're so sorry you're joining us quite late. We had some little things we need to fix up before the program. But anyways, let's just head over to what we have for today. The first question I have is concerning the River State local government polls. So I just want to ask, what is happening currently in the state right now from your end?
Thank you very much. You know, River State just had their local government election, and then subsequently the governor of the state, through the judiciary, have sworn them in. And you know, before the election, the local government secretariat of River State, through the directive of the Ijaw police, they were all sealed down because there were conflicting issues between the caretaker chairman, which one to occupy. So to avoid breakdown of law and order, the IG directed the Commissioner of Police River State to seal the secretariat. But for the fact that elective chairmen have been sworn in, the IG directed the secretariat to be unsealed. And yesterday, some of the caretaker committee chairmen and their hired followers mobilize themselves in their numbers, while these new chairmen that were elected and sworn in wanted to resume office, took over the secretariat, and about 4 of the secretariat were put on fire. And that is what actually happened, and some of those same miscreants attacked the convoy of the new elected ESCOs, and their supporters. I believe we recorded some casualties as we speak. You know, Port Harcourt is one state that is very, very sensitive to the stability of the Niger Delta regional politics. And issues of this nature ought not to be recorded in River State. The reason why I'm saying ought not to be recorded is that the perpetrators of this crime are known to the security parastatals and the security agencies, and not arresting them so that they will face the wrath of the law as the president of the largest youth organization here in the Niger Delta. It's very, very worrisome. You know, the Niger Delta over time has been maintaining some level of peace and stability, and trying to use political crisis to engulf the Niger Delta into another form of crisis is not to the best interest of the people of the Niger Delta and the Nigerian nation at large. You remember when the local government election was about to be conducted, there was this court judgment that they said came from when one high court from Abuja that the Nigerian police should not provide security. As a result of that, the IG directed the Commissioner of Police Rivers State not to provide security. But the Rivers State people, with their level of understanding and the importance of local government governance, told the IG of Police and the Commissioner of Police that even though you don't want to provide security, we are going to conduct ourselves, we will comport ourselves, and we will coordinate ourselves to make sure that the election is conducted peacefully and free and fair. And at the end of the day, on the 5th of October, just the Saturday that just passed, Rivers people demonstrated that maturity by conducting themselves and creating a new record that in Nigeria, even without security, elections can be conducted free and fairly and peacefully. Today, we are aware of the political turmoil in the Rivers State. Some group of persons under the influence of the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, is bent on causing crisis here in Rivers State, so that the IG of Police will have the opportunity to advise the president to declare state of emergency. The question now is the Nigerian police force now a branch or department of a political party, or the Nigerian police force still remain the apolitical organization that is shadowed with the responsibility to protect life and property in Nigeria? That is the question that is disturbing me as an individual. You know, before time,
Dr. Alaye, I want to ask this question. You talked about the offices that we know some of the offices are being burnt, and we know that the local government chairmen have been sworn in. Now, we learned that they said they should work from home. Now, what is in place to make sure that this local government chairmen are actually working from their home? And also, how do you think the Ijaw youth are handling this issue between the present governor and, of course, the past governor?
The Ijaw Youth Organization, in as much as we are aware, has tried to see how we can broker peace. You see, anything that has to do with democracy, we must respect our rule of law, which is our constitution and our electoral guideline. For us to allow some group of people to hijack an entire state is not to the best interest of Nigerian democracy. And over time, Rivers State people, with their level of political understanding, has always told the world that they can never be enslaved politically by any group of person or individual. And that is why you see that Rivers State has never been overpowered by federal might during electioneering processes. Today, the Ijaw Youth Council, as the mother youth organization, has been synergizing with other youth organizations in Rivers State to see how we can give peace a chance. We have been doing sensitization. We have also appealed to the FCT minister and other political gladiators to share the assurance to give Rivers peace a chance here in Rivers State, because the development of Rivers State is our priority. And if you believe that your interest is to the survival and well-being of Rivers people, why do you want to deliberately put a state of that nation into crisis? If you Rivers State engulfed into crisis, it is the masses, which you said is as a result of their interest that you are fighting, that will suffer. So why don't you just shave your sword and keep this a sound so that Rivers people can benefit and have the dividends of democracy at the end of the day? You know, the present governor is from the Ijaw extraction. But even the Ogboni Youth Council, the Ikwere Youth Council, the Share Youth Council, almost all the youth organizations have pleaded with the FCT minister and his few supporters to keep this a child, so that the youth of Rivers State can benefit and have the political templates, the blueprints that the governor has brought to Rivers State in order for the people of Rivers State to have the dividends and the impact of democracy before the end of his 4 years.
Okay,
So the youth
all right.
has always been at the forefront. been trying to see how we can broker peace between the FCT minister and the governor. The peaceful disposition of the governor is overwhelming.
Yeah.
And that is why you see that you say.
Sorry to interject, Dr. Alaye. Yeah, sorry to interject. Some of my guests, one of my guests has a question for you. Femi Chacha, what's your question?
Dr. Alaye, I need to appreciate your line of thoughts and how you're able to articulate them. But I also need to set as precedence that Nigeria is known to always have this governor, incumbent governor and past governor rivalry and rancor. And I can give several examples of states within the country that it's difficult for the incumbent and his the former governor to see eye to eye when the past governor probably leaves office. But I think the only state that has tried to manage that too well is probably Lagos State. They have a very smooth transition. Now, here's my question. I'm of the opinion that the incumbent governor was a part of the previous administration, and there were things the past governor that has been accused right now did to his own predecessor also in the person of His Excellency Rotimi Amechi, which all of us are actually aware. So now, two questions very quickly. I appreciate that you are the president of the Ijaw Council, but I want you to put a statement, a categorical statement, to condemn this in totality in every state. You know, an evil done to one is an evil done to all. So I want you to put a categorical statement to that, so that even when the incumbent governor at the moment also becomes a past governor and probably something like this wants to come up, because it's now becoming more like a recurring thing in almost every state. I can give you several instances, my presidents. I can give you a lot of instances, but time wouldn't permit. So I need you to put a categorical statement that there must be reasons why past governors must allow incumbent governors to settle down to work and govern, and not because you have an affiliation to the present sitting governor. That's number one. Number two, which I really want to now you ask with all of your wisdom, is what exactly is the way forward? I understand that the president intervened at a particular time. The president intervened, and it looks as if peace had been brokered. But all of a sudden, we found out that probably the two of them were not respecting the peace deal, or probably only one person. But I believe it takes two to tango. So now that the highest political office in the country intervened, and there is still no end to all of this rancor, what do you think is the way forward that will make the two parties be at peace? Not only a winner takes all kind of a celebration right now. Thank you, my president. Please.
Thank you very much. Your first question: as the president of the Ijaw Youth Council, we are a pressure group, and our position has always been liberal democracy in Nigeria, where the rights of the voters is respected, and those in the corridor of power at the given point of time is given the opportunity to roll out their blueprints to their electorates. IYC as an organization has always stands a position, and that position has always been: don't dictate to your successor, because it's not to the interest of the voters. And I'm making it a categorical statement here again that Nigerian politicians should look beyond godfatherism. The reason why these things are reoccurring is because of godfatherism. And today in Rivers State, the immediate past governor, which is the current FCT minister, made it very clear when he was taking over power in 2015 that godfatherism will not survive in Rivers State. And you see that when he came on board, Rotimi Amaechi, even though they were in opposition party, never dictated how he's going to manage the affairs of Rivers State. Even Peter Odili, the first executive governor that took over in our Fourth Republic from 1999, never dictated or interfered with how we manage the affairs of Rivers State. The same way, likewise, that is how it applies to Rotimi Amaechi. Nobody dictates or directs Rotimi Amaechi on how he will manage the affairs of Rivers State. Today, he has handed over power to Governor Siminalayi Fubara. What we want is don't dictate to him. Give him the opportunity to manage the affairs of Rivers State the way you were given free hand to manage the affairs of Rivers State. Then secondly, the issue before in Rivers State, the best approach to resolve that crisis is political means. Mr. President is the employer, is the employer of the Minister of FCT, Nyesom Wike. Mr. President is his boss as we stand, and it is only his boss that can give him directive. You know, Nigeria as a nation is faced with multiple challenges. Adding political challenge or crisis into our already overbearing challenges is not to the best interest of Mr. President and the Nigerian populace. So I'm expecting Mr. President to call his FCT minister to order Mr. Nyesom Wike have serious interest in Rivers State. But for the sake of me being the president of Federal Republic of Nigeria, allow Rivers State to have some form of peace. He will adhere to it. There is no way he will override the directive of his boss. But what we are saying is that Mr. President has not given him that directive. Rather, Nyesom Wike, the FCT minister, is using his influence to be even infiltrating the Nigerian security, especially the police. The Ijaw police is now a partisan politician that is taking side, and that is the genesis of the crisis. So what I believe is that the only way to resolve Rivers State crisis that is before us is to have a political solution, which only Mr. President can give directive, and that directive is the only way that we can have a lasting peace.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Alaye, for that one. That was a beautiful response. Okay, I have one of my guests. Before we let you go, we have one more questions for you, and this one is from one of our analysts in the house, Mr. Mazi, please. Yeah.
Thank you, Doctor. I think I've listened to you. Most of the things you've said, we have heard it. But my own is a follow-up to what Femi has said. Talked about the president's intervention, talked about allowing peace to reign. I also listened to George last night, and the lady human rights activist. All of them have been calling for peace to reign. I want you, as the president of Ijaw extraction, where the president governor comes from, I want you to do one thing for us. Let there be peace and understanding. Let there be peace to reign. Let there be no war again. Can you assure us that you are going to talk to your people so that let the bygone will have instrument of law with which any aggrieved party can settle their differences? So how far are you going to do this? Are you going to join them in saying let there be continuous war, or let there be peace? If anyone has been offended, let him go through the process of law. So that's my one question. Another one is to also appreciate you, because I've heard you have balanced your argument. Please carry this to the Rivers people. Some people said Rivers belongs to everybody. It doesn't belong to Wike nor the governor. So the people, Rivers, they need peace. So can you begin to preach this peace across board? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Your first question is, we have already made those positions very, very clear. Number one is that as the Ijaw Youth Council, we have seen how we can synergize with the political leaders in our states. We have reached out to each and every one of us, and we have let them understand that peace is the best way. And we have always told the part of peace from the inception of this political misunderstanding here in Rivers State. Secondly, we have been reaching out to the youth organizations and even political leaders why they have to toe the path of peace. But the issue here is that one individual is so interested in taking control of the Rivers State structure. And that has been the problem that we have been trying to solve. And the only way we can solve that problem is through the president. Once he gives directive, we believe that everything is going to be sorted out. And that is what we are waiting for. Our appeal is to Mr. President, call your appointee, the FCT minister, to order, and the Rivers State will be peaceful. Because what we are seeing is that this crisis, if not properly managed, it might escalate to the entire Niger Delta. And that is not to the best interest of the people of the Niger Delta and Nigeria at large. That is our position. And we will still continue to mediate the peace road that we have been mediating, and we will continue to engage with our people to give peace a chance. That is our position. Crisis of violence does not bring development, and we wouldn't want to go into crisis or violence in political issues of this nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Alaye. Peace is the way forward, not all the crisis and all the violence happening right now in Rivers State. Hopefully, like you said, you want the presidency to do something about that and call everyone to order, speak to the two parties in questions, and, you know, bring a peace treaty to the both of them. Thank you very much, Dr. Alaye. We'll let you go now. Thank you so much for your input, and thank you for giving us the updates happening in Rivers State. We do appreciate you from Galaxy TV. Please enjoy your day. I hope you enjoyed the section, though.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and have a nice day. God bless you.
You too. All right, thank you. Okay, and that's it from Dr. Alaye Tari Theophilus. Amazing one. But before we wrap up and you know, end this Rivers State election polls, I know you have something to say, definitely, because it's already part of the topic. What do you have to say quickly, if we can still take something else?
I need to commend the President, Dr. Theophilus. He's highly cerebral, and I'm beginning to see that youths like me are obviously the hope of this nation. You know, in time past, the ways you look at young people, irrespective of how you want to attribute youthful exuberance to how they articulate their grievances. That is, speaking really calm like this does not mean it's not aggrieved or it's not feeling like this is the first time somebody from the Ijaw extraction is actually clinching the first seat of Rivers State. And a normal person from that extraction will feel so bad that someone is trying to sabotage the effort and the tenure of a sitting governor. Because if Governor His Excellency does not perform so well, they may not smell that position again. Now, but on the other hand, I also want them to balance this. Like, some of us have been appealing to the factions that belong to His Excellency, the FCT minister, also, who've been trying to talk. Because the truth is that it is youth that are foot soldiers. All these old people will not participate in whatever evil that befalls the community. So we've been trying our best to reach out to youths. And my position is, if you look at it from the other side, that almost 27 House of Assembly members have been disenfranchised. That's like communities on their own that has been stopped from performing their duties because they are not aligning with only the government. They are seeing it as 27 against one person. And it's played out for Obaseki wrongly in this last he also didn't allow like 14 or 15 House of Assembly members to participate because they don't see they don't see from the same perspective. So I'm appealing to Governor Sim that he should look at posterity. For posterity purpose, they should find a political solution. Now, I'm also expecting that on the part of the FCT minister, see, you win you lose the battles to win the war. This is something that some of us have learned, that you cannot always win at all times. Sometimes you have to, even in chess, for those of us that play chess, you know that there are pawns that you lose, but don't let human beings be these pawns. There are positions that you can find. There are positions that you stood at as at when you were handing over to this governor, probably because you did, like His Excellency the FCT minister said, he said he did not collect money for form, that he paid. He mentioned certain things that, well, we may be forced to see like he has reasons to feel entitled, quote unquote. But the truth is, it has gone to a position where, for the sake of peace in Rivers State, he should sheath his sword. In fact, both of them. Now, it does not mean that His Excellency the FCT minister should not go and wait for him in 2027 second term.
Yeah.
But let peace reign. Some of us understood what happened in Lagos State during the Ambode tenure. But you know, because they wanted peace, that was the first representation in the modern Lagos from the extraction. And they looked at, he was already doing a lot of projects in those areas, and they didn't want to sabotage his effort. The House of Assembly members, if we even have a level said that PDP members that are House of Assembly members and they are not disenfranchised, irrespective of how they don't see things from the same perspective. So I want the Rivers State government and the FCT minister to see things from the long perspective. Let this man achieve certain things at the moment now. Seriously, in all fairness, I've been trying to prognose into the affairs of the state, and that man is working. But because of the war that is happening,
the crisis around,
the crisis is what we are hearing so much, that we are not having news from the exact things is actually
and if care is not taken, it might actually disrupt the building or the restructuring or the, you know, however it's supposed to develop, however the state is supposed to develop. Because of this crisis, we might not even see to it come to limelight. Mazi, what's your take before we go?
Yeah, maybe you don't justice to it, but anyway, I say whatever we do in life, what is important is your motive, right? Motive of doing anything. Find out well that the FCT minister purchased that for what was the intention? Greed. I don't want. I said it was one of the things I discussed from where I've come. Now you served as a local government chairman for 4 years, 2 years, 2 years. You served as a special whatever to Amechi, chief of staff to Amechi. You serve as a junior minister to Jonathan, and you serve as a governor for 8 years. What again are you still looking for? I gave example from my church. I was the elder in charge of welfare committee in the board for 20 years, and it was about 2 years ago I left it. That area is very juicy, and I left there. I've never intervened. I've never prognosed. I've never directed. I've never influenced any decision. Why not wicked? Fine and good. You made him. And the governor, I listened to him. I listened to Brother George. Before you invited me, I asked you about this.
Yeah.
I make sure that I make some deep research. God said he has done everything. He has nailed down so many times. Yet, let peace reign. Even yesterday, he was asked the way forward by Chada. He said the way forward is, if we see him wicked tomorrow or today, that he will say, please let peace reign. Right? Now, our president, who is the father of the nation, needs to do something. I may not say what I want to say, because so that you will not be saying that I'm taking side. For you to call one person, two persons are fighting, and you see the other person holding the other one on the ground. You are asking the person being held on the ground to take it easy. What about it?
Yeah, I want to ask, why do you think the presidency mentioned only the governor's name without mentioning the two of them?
So when two parties are working, when two persons are fighting, you need to call two of them. Let there be peace. Then and again, police didn't do anything. I've been following it up. They called me about 2 or 3 radio stations during the last election. Saturday. I said I won't go. Look, the police abandoned their constitutional responsibility, right, by not providing security. Some senior advocates of Nigeria complain about that. Even though you said you are now obeying the federal handbook, now then are you obeying where they say you should not protect life and properties? That's another thing. And again, we need to see this thing as the handwriting of the devil. And my brother Wike, he should play it down. The government should play it down. You see, stealing is not an issue, but it's to divide it. It's an issue. They were there together, like you said, they were there together. Now it has come to it has now come for the division. The government said, I'm giving him all he needed. Please, I want to join my voice to the people and say, let there be peace. Because when two elephants fight, the grass, grass in this area.
Yeah.
Is it the river state? Yeah. Look at the beautiful local government house. Secretary.
That was Bonds.
Who owns it? I listened to this one, the founder of Christ Embassy. He said, when you are fighting or quarreling with the federal government or state government, even local government, don't destroy the property because the property belongs to you. It is your taxpayer money that.
And they're using building it.
Why all these things? Why all this madness? Little have they remembered, or little have they remember for what that empty will come, empty will go. So my take here is that let there be peace in River State.
Okay.
In
1 minute.
You see, I think as a past governor of a state, I've had the opportunity to relate. So I have a political career I'm building also, and I understand that the most important thing to anyone that is a stakeholder in the state, number one, is the political structure. Number two is their means of finance. Then number three, probably juicy positions that they expect that they should be in charge to allocate. Now, the truth is that every of the people that are in the federal cabinet today or in different governmental parastatals at the federal level were actually chosen by the FCT minister. Funny enough. But normally, it's always governors that actually send names or pen down names to the presidency. But we all cannot close our eyes to the role FCT minister played in making this administration win election, especially in Rivers State.
In his own way.
Exactly. In his own way. It is also the same way that the sitting governor actually
all of them. No one is exempted.
I agree.
All of them. And that is why foundation of a thing is important. Foundation of a thing. And like you are a youth, right? A youth leader. Fine. My advice is those people that destroy those local government, did you see anybody above 60 years? The youth. And these are the foot soldiers the politicians are
always using.
And afterward, because of 10,000 naira, you mortgage your conscience, mortgage your future for 4 or 8 years. And you are now, are we not suffering now? Tomorrow is important.
I agree with you.
Okay, anyways, that's all we'll be taking for the Rivers polls. Well, very good input, I will say, because to be honest, it's unbecoming. I'm just going to say that. So we need a peace, actually. We need peace in Rivers State. Okay, let's talk about something else. Let's move back to Lagos State. We are in Lagos. Okay, this came, I think, on Monday, which was yesterday, where they said Lagos has actually banned single use of plastic and sachet water from January 2025. Okay, I'm just going to read a short write-up on that part so that we know what the Lagos State is trying to do. The Lagos State government, that was last week, stated plans to ban the circulation of single-use plastics and sachet water, among others, from January 2025. Confirming the ban at a stakeholders meeting, they said the awareness on the implementation of the ban of the usage of styrofoam, which was actually said before, and SUPs for packaging in Lagos. The Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, explained that the ban set to commence from January next year is part of a measure by the state government to put in place policy guidelines for plastic utility in further ensuring a sustainable management of plastic waste, healthy and safe environment. It reported that in 2024, they banned the use of styrofoams in all government establishments and across the metropolis in general, following the increase of prevalence of plastic waste and its negative effect on the environment in recent years. Also speaking, the Lagos chairperson, Association for Table Water Production of Nigeria, ATWAP, Musako Ololade said that they have been working and engaging the Lagos State government on a way forward and to sensitize their member on the planned ban. But they also plead the government to engage them and because stating that they are a responsible association and they are ready to work with the government, but that they have over 2,000 members in Lagos State alone with over 10,000 workers, and so they employ the government to implement the ban in phases to allow their members ample opportunity for compliance, because there are a lot of things to be put in place before coming up with total enforcement. My first thought was, okay, if we're banning the sachet water, what what would the average man or below average man, how would they drink water if they are walking on the street? Because right now we know how much a table water costs if you're going for this from 200 above basically. So if they are doing this, is there any plan on ground to make sure that this ban works? And you know, because yes, despite the fact that they said no use of styrofoams, I'm still seeing some vendors, food vendors and others still using this, because it's as good as telling them, they will tell you how much will they get the plastic plate, and instead of using this one. So it's still a problem for some people to even adhere to that instruction, and now they want to ban sachet water. That's I feel like that's a far cry. But what's your thoughts?
Two things, two truths can coexist. The first being that for health sake, for safety sake, sachet gin has also been, there's a clampdown on sellers of sachet gin, and then on this station also I've explained why most of those sachet gins are actually the adulterated ones, and not the real ones from the company. Now, this, if you look at how Lagos used to be very flooded when it's rain, Lagos is actually below the sea level, is getting deeper and deeper as far as, and statistics tell us that in 2030, if care is not taken, there may probably not be Lagos. And it's good to work with data. But the challenge I have is how we, in the name of enforcement, not find a way around creativity to, instead of enforcement. Yes. I can give a good instance. There's something I'm doing in my community. I started when I was the president of a Rotary Club, one of the Rotary clubs. I partnered with public schools, and I set up a very big net that they could drop recycled objects that could be recycled, plastic bottles, papers, and lights. And I partnered with some organizations that are into recycling that helps to swap those things with stationaries. Now, you know the funniest thing, when what we used to do before, back then, before I was president, was that you move into the community and you clean the community. So I found that if we clean today, in the next 3 days, it does not stop. Yes. The same thing, because you're only cutting down the fruits. You are not affecting the roots, and it will continue to grow. So, but you know the funniest thing, when we now sensitized, partnered, and sold it like we're helping, they must say, oh, don't worry. Instead of dropping it in the gutters right now, why not bring it? And if you bring, there were people that were taking stock. If you bring 15 plastic bottles, your child will be entitled to 3 big notes. Wow. What do you expect children from? Of course, they will want to. Each time they see people eating, or please, can I have it? If it's not, please let me have it. And fine, most of their bags were now filled with rubbish and debris. But the truth was that those things left the streets and actually came into an area where we can monitor it. Like, there are more creative ways of doing all these things. But I want the government to think out of the box. You can achieve what you want to achieve, but how you do things is more important than what you intend to do. Oh, I love that one. Mazi, that's a very beautiful idea, to be honest.
That's a good idea. You see, let me repeat my word with due respect. Talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. Let us see the implementation. If they say that this is going to take place from when next year, January next year, what have they done now? Have you visited any of the state or local government offices. Have you not seen this sachet water is being sold? Right? And again, we Nigerians are lawlessness. We are not. You see people drinking and throwing from the windows of their cars. Walking on the street, they throw it away without. What about drainages? So they should work towards that. There must be proper penalty for law offenders, and they will also need to give them time, like they pleaded. Give them time so that they be used to it. Then what alternative have you
created?
The country is sick. People are hungry. How a bottle of table water is about 300 naira or something.
Yeah.
How many persons can afford that? Good idea, good development, good thinking, implementation, but let it be in phases so that people will be carried along, because education is key. How much have you educated them? The implementation, the implication, and the benefit. You must make them our orientation, whatever agency, what are they doing? These things need to be sold, and you have to buy the idea before you achieve your objective. Otherwise, like I said, talk is cheap. Honestly, in a civilized society, do you see this sachet water being even used like that? Just like let me come to transportation. In a mega city, we are still using Okada as a means of transportation. We are still using this keke marwa. Even in the urban area, in Lagos, Abuja, is that not shameful? So now they are bringing this. I listened to the ASO president yesterday. He said the recommendation they made so many years ago, and the government said we look into it. Have they looked into it? So good idea, good innovation, but let us see the implementation. Let it be a gradual. Let there be awareness, even to the rural dwellers, because these are people they don't even bother. They can throw such a water
anywhere.
So it is important they go there. Just like what you said about when you are asking us to go and deposit our money in the bank, they are going to use it. But remember there was a federal, Supreme Court judgment that which will cease to be in legal tender by December 2020, whatever. Is it not being? So by now, the old note should have been phased out, but we are still seeing it. So until we see the workability of all these things, and the government, those in charge, should be able to take responsibility and enforce it. And before you enforce it, let there be laid down understanding. People in communication, that's what we call effective communication. That is, the person communicating must have communicated well. The person receiving would have
received it well.
So now they are bringing this policy. I think between now and January is too short. Let them go.
It's too short a time. And I'm just going to say this, Femi. Femi is here, so if you need his great idea, if he could do that for a small community, and this is Lagos at large, I think you need such great minds to work with you to be able, if you really want to achieve this. I think it's even in a short time, that is achievable, right?
In a minute, do you also know that I was in the UK early this year. There's this big machine. I don't know what it's called. You can put the plastic bottle inside. It will collapse it and probably find, and there will be coin that will come. See, there are ways that some of these water companies can partner with the government.
Beautiful.
And
where I'm coming from now, I don't want to mention the radio stations now. In their premises, they have a large space where they gather all this bottled water, right? Within that street, within that vicinity, anybody that wants to either throw it away, they go and pick it. And they see, when they are called water, they say they want to recycle it. Good idea. So they should even, like in the household, they should encourage landlords to build a pot where all those things should be gathered instead of throwing it. There are so many ideas like you just mentioned, but my own is that
We have a lot of good ideas.
Implementation is always the problem.
So that is what-
Yes, implementation is the issue, because like you said, someone will be in a public transport and the next thing is, after taking the sachet water, is flinging it out the window. And when you even correct the person, sometimes the person will just look at you with this very bad
I did
sight.
this college road. I was driving. Somebody just threw something. I now overtook him. And parked. I said, please, sir, with due respect, stop and go and pick those things. He said, I said you must go and pick it. I said you must go and pick it. I blocked it. I caused traffic that day. Until he said, this man, you can't insult. If you insult me, I said, well, I will give it back to you, but very politely. But he did that. My wife, my left wife, each time we are driving, she never allowed anybody drop anything from
the window. I think that's another angle.
Must start from the home anyway.
Yeah, it must start from the home. Anyways, this is the end of the show today. Our time is fast spent. Like I said, Lagos governor can meet very young minds, creative young minds. We have someone like Femi Chacha. Like, if you now need advice, you have. Oh, is it? Oh, so why not? So you can actually work with him, since he's the chairman for table water and sachet water. Anyways, today is we've come to the end of the show. My name is Rose Blossom. Thank you so much, Femi Chacha, for coming. Thank you for the amazing questions you gave to our Dr. Alaye from River State. Thank you so much, Mazi Obiora. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you, Dr. Alaye, also Tari Theophilus, for joining us on via Zoom to answer those questions. And we hope you continue to preach peace to both from Ijaw and from other youths in River State. We'll come to the end of the show. Until tomorrow, we'll talk about state and affairs of the country. My name is Rose Blossom. Do have a beautiful day for yourself. Bye for now.